this Yahoo. See, everybody that's existing got a mind of their own. We're all kings and queens with a throne of our own. Trying to raise our families in a healthy home. We gotta learn to stick together, hate to be here alone. Cause the world is a place that will eat you alive in one day. Said the world is a place that you can't survive without faith.
Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around. Because all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't wanna fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and our children will play. One day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day. It's not about win or lose, 'cause we all lose when they bleed on the souls of the innocent. Blood-drenched pavement, keep on moving though the water stay raging. In this maze, you can lose your way, your way. It might drive you crazy, but don't let it phase you, no way, no way.
Gotta hold on, live your life day by day. Gotta hold on, put your focus on that one day.
All my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't wanna fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and our children will pray. One day, one day, one day, one day. One day this all will change, treat people the same. Stop with the violence, down with the hate. One day we'll all be free and proud to be under the same sun, singing songs of freedom.
Gotta hold on, live your life day by day. Gotta hold on, put your focus on that one day.
All my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't wanna fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and our children will play.
this one. Oh, probably that one. Yeah. Hello. Oh, it's got. Oh no. Cool. Unrelated anyway. Let's see. Okay. Okay. At least here, let me actually, sorry, I probably should have sat here with it still starting soon while and open these things. Oh man, this? Also this. Yeah, what the fuck? This is kind of underground science stuff. Oops. Thinking I would do more of an earthquake-focused episode. They fucking made it so I can't even look at any. I keep appealing, just constantly, and I say, "You guys are criminals." Period. Submit. Over and over and over. Occasionally, I'll say something different, like baseless, unilateral, permanent suspension that is therefore a ban and not a permanent and not a suspension at all. Fucking cunts. Can't even see anything. Nothing in my page is visible any longer. There was until yesterday or this time, till last night, I could at least like look back in my page at like some of them, not most. 11,000, no. Before my research, I probably had like under 100 posts. So most of these posts are research posts. Fucking no reason ever given. I'm just fucking permanently suspended, aka banned. And they won't even fucking provide a basis. They just unilaterally are dumb fucking cunts. Maybe because I called them names at some point. It's like, you're not even responsive. You guys are fucking whatever the fuck I said. And then like 20 weeks later, someone comes across it and bans me, kind of thing. Just that kind of behavior, maybe. I don't know what happened. Anyway. Oh my god, this dude. There's another earthquake one there. That's worth bringing up too. Okay, that's enough. Okay, we got some stuff. Okay, so I guess I'm still, maybe I should just get like gathered. Like, I'm still gathering. Hello everyone. As Nick Zender says, Cheers. I can't do it like Nick Sender. He's good. I'm fucking like hermit in a corner. I don't know how to socialize properly. I stare at myself in the camera. I'm like, oh, okay. It looks tolerable. I need to cut my hair, I guess. But, Magnetic Earthquakes, Episode 2. Kim... Oh, I still got it starting soon. I guess we can keep that until I'm ready. Kamchakra is so named because of the chakra. Not because I don't know what I'm talking about and don't understand that it's Kamchatka. Kamchatka episode? Kamchakra. Did you mean Kamchaka? No. I meant Kamchakra. Okay. Cool. Glad we cleared that up. Hopefully it'll be more clear as we go. I know that probably doesn't make sense. So magnetic earthquakes. The idea is not really an idea, is just it relates to magnetic anomalies of the earth. So my specialty, if you will, what I bring to the table in earthquake discussions, where I am very like out of my typical wheelhouse, if you will, in terms of specifics, like, but what I bring to the table and like specifics of actual like data points, like historical quakes and all sorts of stuff that I could be aware of and just don't have that access immediately because I'm not studied on them very much. But what I am studied on is the earth itself and the actual process of how the earth formed. It came to be how it is, which is not plate tectonics. I hate to be the bearer of inconvenient truth. A real inconvenient truth is not plate tectonics. It's that the earth expanded. It's inconvenient because it's a pain in the ass. We gotta, like, first of all, people gotta accept that it's actually the case. Secondly, we gotta, like, do all the work again. Put it in figure out the actual exact expansion model, because there's many. And its nuances, because there's many. I was watching this here. Watching this here. Presenter Gillian Folger. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but she had an interesting point. This video kind of was reminiscent of what I experienced, in that she's like, okay, it's not consensus. It's pretty clear that consensus is a bunch of bullshit, but it's simple and just generically overlays stuff, and people can like teach it in a 1-hour documentary and act like they're telling the truth, kind of thing. So like Iceland, like whenever like the generic overlay of Iceland is described, that's what like everyone is handed, even like geologists. Like that's what the introduction, here's kind of how it is in general, and then like at some point, if they bother or that's their area of expertise, they actually look at the data. And that's what this woman was like. I'm like, she's dealing with the same shit, some bullshit. Like, it's just different octave. Like, it's within plate tectonics, so like she's lacking the expansion aspect to account for, to really maybe zero in on some things that might help, but point is, like, clearly the present model is not accounting for data, and I could tell not even with the presentation itself as much as her tone and her words and just the way she spoke, especially early on discussing, like, I believe, like, this is generally how something, maybe this map even, it's generally thought to be something kind of simple, but in reality, there is higher ridge. So there's different ridges. This one's inactive, as in it was in the past and is not any longer. And it has a fan shape. So I'm like, a fan shape, dude. Fan shape. It's just kind of here as a fan. Like it's spreading, and then there's a fan spreading shape. Like there are no alarm bells. Plate tectonics. But then, like it has a bunch of extinct, and apparently, what happened was these ones, this one here on the far near Greenland, and this one over here, were active simultaneously, and I'm not sure if I'm saying this correctly in terms of simultaneous, but the sequence was this one, and then they went extinct, and then this one, and then they went extinct, and then these ones, I guess something like that, and this one essentially moving their way into here. I believe it was in, possibly out. I think in, because this is the inactive one, and this is the present one, so it has to be in. Which is interesting. The reason I said that is because I was thinking about Western North America, where I was kind of getting a vibe it was doing the opposite. Although maybe it's the same. Where, I don't know. But, so this video, I'll get to Kamchakra earthquake soon. That's why we're still starting soon. I guess I should get rid of that. Fine. Okay, well, here we go. We have begun officially. Welcome to Kamchakra, episode 2 of Magnetic Earthquakes, where we look at magnetic lineaments. Well, magnetic anomalies. Where intensity, high intensity, so pinkish, fuchsia, and then blue, dark colors are opposite ends. Blue, this is basically where current flows and flowed, but also presently can flow. And then pink is where there's resistance, like a mound, where the current is physically blocked. Yeah, so I'm not staring over here. I'm gonna put this over here, I guess. And it's just easier to see the chat if anyone actually says anything, so I can actually do this. So, like in this instance, these are like resistant to flow, and then with varying degrees. So blue generally is a place in which current can flow to, and then over here is where the 8.8 was at Kamchakra, right, like here, next to this high magnetic anomaly. Just exaggerated, obviously, but noticeably sharp, and not like alone. It's not the only one, but it is noticeably sharp. And that's where the quake was, or no, right there, which is along this margin that goes up here, and then like relates to over here, coming through that way. I think going up, wrapping around, go down and around, and then it goes down, goes along here, but it couldn't like flow so much over here, so it was bending as well. And like this is resistance naturally, but if there's pressures over here as well, so like the flow isn't just flowing into nothingness, it's flowing into other materials, so there can be resistance ahead. So like if flows meet, they can branch off. So like here, flow going this way, flow going the opposing direction, and they meet and they branch off, kind of thing. I'm not saying that's exactly what happened there, but like an example, it does seem quite plausible based on some things I noticed today. Wow, the path like goes right there. And then it skips like a spreading ridge. Kind of looks more like a spreading ridge than the others. Like the way that is, that kind of resembles like how this is. It's more distinct in the magnetic anomalies. It's clearly like the main conduit, the main place in which some kind of spreading mechanism is happening regardless of paradigm. And it kind of resembles that there. I mean, I know it's just like part of this, but it's darker. I never really noticed that. That would make sense that it would like do this. Almost feel like it was a spreading ridge and like part of it's missing because it's over here somewhere. I mean, it's basically at Hess rise. This segment has the boundaries to it. Hess rise was over here, I believe. My interpretation is some. I forget exactly. I gotta look at it in this map, I guess. Every time. Warranted, bitches. Where the sphere hit. Sphere of Hawaii. I know, if that doesn't make any sense, see my Hawaii videos. Please suspend your disbelief and consider the evidence. Which, by the way, is not just the evidence that I present, because it's the case. Like, it's just the general evidence that exists, period. I don't have to have, like, accounted for it yet. It certainly would help add precision, but the general gist... Facts, brah. Speaking of, what are you talking about? I'm talking about the crazy aspect of my research is like, it's fucking unbelievable. But the thing is, it's true. The truth is stranger than fiction. It's one of those kinds of situations where, let's see. I guess this should have been an underground science episode. Where is it? Here we go. This is fun. Where literally Hawaii, the main islands, were the inner sphere, of a larger sphere that included the Emperor Seamount chain, and the rest of the Hawaiian seamount chain, but the final islands were once conjoined and met again at the same point with these like fingers holding the nub that met in a sphere where the surface of modern Hawaii was the inner surface of a hollow sphere. I know it sounds fucking insane. It's true though. Hard sell. It's tough sell. But once people realize it, like, this shit is evidence-based, dude. Check it out. Like, what are the odds? I'm just looking at some shit today. I don't even know what I was looking at. I came across this. I am too good, dudes. I can say it because it's true. That's right. I was trying to find specifics on Alaska rotation, not looking into specifically, is there any evidence of ball bearing style motions in Alaska? I don't know, maybe because there's a Hawaiian sphere that rolled through there underneath the crust and participated in its rotation. Maybe there would be a sphere there. This is a long search, by the way. I wasn't doing that. I was just looking at rotation in general, and I'm reading this. I'm like, dude, it says ball bearing. This rotation is most easily interpreted in terms of ball bearing style motions. What the fuck are they talking about? Dude, it's like, it's so crazy. Ball bearing style motions geology. I can't imagine that's what they're talking about. I don't think I can find it, unfortunately. Like, I know how to get it in certain circumstances. Oh wait, is this it? It's just the abstract and some of it. Let's see. Is it this? No. How the hell? Whatever. There must be a way to frickin'. I guess I can download. I think I already. There it is. Okay, there we go. Although most of the paleomagnetic data available for Arctic Alaska show evidence of a magnetic overprint of note, which commonly obscures the original magnetization, there are a few localities which appear to have recorded an original magnetic field. However, any conclusions drawn on the basis of these apparently reliable paleomagnetic data have to be considered tentative, since they have not all had rigorous stability tests applied. With this caveat in mind, it is found that the northernmost localities indicate a post-early Cretaceous counterclockwise rotation commensurate with a rotation of Arctic Alaska away from the region of the Canadian Arctic Islands. So it's moving counterclockwise, like turning to like a 90 degrees almost, followed by a smaller clockwise. So it had a early Cretaceous counterclockwise, and then a smaller clockwise rotation in sites further to the west, but still on the Arctic slope. I don't know. I'm not sure when this was. South of the Brooks Range, sediments of Cretaceous age from the Yukon Koyukuk province onlap the Brooks Range and are thus considered part of Arctic Alaska. These sediments give paleomagnetic directions that indicate variable amounts of clockwise rotation. This rotation is most easily interpreted in terms of ball bearing style motions due to dextral slip motion along the southern margin of Arctic Alaska. These clockwise rotations are in contrast to the counterclockwise motion seen throughout southwest Alaska. Oh man, it's like it's got a nucleus going in the other direction, and it's more complex than just doing this. I don't know for certain what the hell they mean by this. I mean, I guess they could mean like it seems like they're using it as an analogy. Like, it's not a term in geology. No one's out there saying ball bearing style rotation or whatever this paper says to explain anything except for through an analogy. They would say it when it seems like it's rotating with some kind of ball bearing style to it. I don't think it's like this search result kind of implied, this AI like that. I just don't think this is a term. Let's see. Northward compression of the Pacific Plate against the North American Plate. No mention of the opening of the Arctic. Conceptual framework. The ball. Okay, so it's blocks of crust trapped between the two major faults behave like balls in a bearing. Yup. If that's, I mean, dude, this does sound, it's like it's being specific to details. I don't know where it's drawing this from. It really should give a link there. Ball bear. Oh, there we go. Ball bear. This is even a. I think it was a. Was it a Merle Beck paper? I don't know. I thought it said Beck. I just came across Merle Beck recently. I was like, oh, he's all over the place, this guy. I think it was like Himalayas or something. Fucking like what? I don't think it was just Pacific Northwest. I don't know what it was though. What was I doing? Oh yeah. Hey, what's that? Dude, something's behind you. Look out. Look out. Oh, fuck. No, what? What? In India? Oh, what is this bullshit? No. Oh, okay, let me try this. Maybe I could find it. NASA? Oh, come on, dudes. The reason I gotta do that shit. It's not it. Documentsdelivered.com. Great. Oh, it says PDF. Is this it? Oh, fuck. I'm not even sure this is the same paper. Fault kinematics, no. It's freaking lame. Lame. Okay, does it say ball bearing here? It said ball. I mean, I guess I could. There it is. Rotate like balls in a bearing. It is suggested that crustal blocks located between strike-slip faults rotate like balls in a bearing. So they're thinking, I guess, this way and not supporting it like a ball underneath it that it's involved with. But I mean, just the mere presence of such a analogy. And here it shows it as analogy, analogous, like balls in a bearing. Okay. Alright, good enough. Let's see what's up with the earthquakes. So we've got, I mean, I already did this in the post, so I guess I can just go to the post now. Earthquake just happened quite near the outlier. This is on the 25th, last night though, at 12:06. So before the subsequent one. So we're looking, this one I've been calling the outlier for a while. And we can go through that real quick. And then this is the one that just happened last night. That was a 4.4, so it was less exciting, I guess, than the one that happened later. 6.1, so that's last night. And then 6.1, I woke up and saw this one. I was like, oh shit. That's like close to the outlier I found. Look at it, and the one I've been calling the outlier is right there. It's even more of an outlier. I'm like, whoa. And it's a 6.1. Where the other one was like a 4.7 or something. I don't know. Or 5, something. Something not 6. 5.0. 6.1. Still listed as a 6.1. So it probably will be. Okay, we can close that, close that. So I'm like, it's past the outlier. This is super exciting and interesting. And if we just look at this image, maybe I should stop here and not stop here, but do this. Like, first of all, there's a boundary in here where there's really not earthquakes for some reason. It's super chakra-like. So if I just draw along this line, because there's that space. And like a chakra, it kind of has layers. So from here, like from right here, I can go multiple ways to still follow generally here. And there's one over here and one here, but it's like fades away. Whereas over here, it kind of continues more. And then ultimately though, it's kind of like peaking here, kind of like here. Almost like it appears kind of like it's peaking in this path here, but then there's like a second side like over here that if we go like that, kind of like peaks it even more. And then like parallel to this, there's kind of one there, there's one here, there's something more like that, maybe one like that. And then there's like a margin down here where like way less earthquakes. Margin down here where way less earthquakes, or wherever exactly. And then if we go this way though, it still like connects through generally just higher, like creating like different energy levels of a chakra. And then same over here where it's got like an arc shape that even kind of like a chakra like abruptly has to go in to go to the chakra. And then over here there's just a lot going on, but let's look at some more images now. I just said as soon as it happened, it's past the outlier. Even more of an outlier than the outlier. Huge. I think this is important, essentially. I think this is an important earthquake. It's not the biggest, 6.1, but it's important for indicating like something's up in this regard. And I went ahead and I said, how about since 1950, and I boxed it in. And these are all the earthquakes since 1950 here. Notice they're freaking everywhere, but they're pretty bounded in the Pacific, except for some outliers, which this one is one of. So since 1950, there have been 13,406 earthquakes in this box. Not in the world. In this box that were above, I think, 4.0. 4.0 or greater. I don't see the search over here, but it's 4.0 because clearly it goes down to 4.3. And I don't think I would have put below 4. So, I mean, there's really 1, 2, 3. Like, I can count the number of outliers. And this one is pretty substantial. And is the biggest one. Even though there's other outliers over here, they're not that big. This one's pretty big. 6.1 relative to the others. And so I'm just like, this thing caught my attention immediately. Immediately got my attention. There it is, a little more zoomed in. And I thought this was interesting. In all those years, there's not been any earthquakes like right in this little patch. There's a patch over here as well, some like regions. And if you zoom in enough, like you can kind of get it that much more. Like there's not been any earthquakes along like these regions kind of thing going on. It's a little odd. I don't know what to make of it. It's a lot of data. It's maybe too much data where it's like shifts over time. So it's hard to even say like it's the same state throughout the process. It's not like it's tracing like some utterly solid and unchangeable underlying nature of the Earth there, like structurally. Like it's changing the structure probably enough that it's only like temporary and transitory relatively. I mean, it's probably way more solid than clouds, but way less solid than like solid crust, I'd imagine. It's more under high pressure, so there's a lot, like the chance of something major happening where there's not as much chance elsewhere. That's my thoughts. Like on the surface of the Earth. Or intermediarily. But so it's an outlier still. And I said, something just changed. I'm like, this is not how it was before. We've got something going on here. So then I just said, here's the threads of the outlier. Here's the first, or no, another 6.0 that was towards the outlier, along the general path of the outlier. So here's the outlier. There's a 6.0 that was generally there. I think that's the outlier. It's gotta be. So there's this like path right there that I kind of saw in the earthquake data. That if we look at animations, Kamchakra. This one, outlier exhaust path, there's the outlier. There's the general path where they preferentially were happening near. And then another boundary and another boundary, so they're like bounded. And then they mostly were along this, what I called central band. And then the outer band. An outer band. Where there was kind of like a gap. So it was kind of flowing like this. And then it had an outlier. So it was flowing much more in this kind of shape than a chakra. But then the outlier happened. Where I then began to be like, I think it's like chakra things are happening here. And so, where is this? 4.6 just adjacent to it. 6.0, 4.6. And then I imagine I draw this, but in case I don't. Like, chakra. Literally. Like a basic, like this portion kind of shape. Or this portion kind of shape, maybe not like the tiers. Earthquakes at Kamchakra seem to enter a bit of a lull, so then they entered a lull on the 9th. Perhaps they were start again, but there have only been 2 there in the 7.5 hours where they were prolific just prior with a 6.0. So they were just popping off at that point, and to a point where 2 in 7.5 hours was anomalous, like compared to the rest. Compared to today and what's happening, it's not really. It actually seems to have kind of slowed down. But just of note on the 9th, it was clearly not like that. After that calm began, a similar magnitude 5.9 occurred by Guatemala. So then I'm just kind of looking at other stuff. And then I said Guatemala. Can't help but notice these earthquakes especially look like they're pointing at Guatemalan earthquake. Just kind of pointing at it with the chakra. I mean, it's generally pointing into the Pacific, whether or not it's like pointing at Guatemala. Unclear. There's me drawing the box around it. And then some other earthquakes back here. Since the post, several more earthquakes have occurred in related places to others. And a quick cluster of earthquakes in Kamchakra began. So here's part of a cluster that just noticed 2239, 2244, 2311, when there were 2 in 7.5 hours kind of thing going on. The most recent of which is near the exhaust again. So again, like the time frame is around like 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the most recent of them, like the one that stopped the sequence, was near the outlier. So it's like where the exhaust is. If something is flowing through and exhausting out the side, then it's like would make sense that occasionally an earthquake would happen there because of like backup in pressures that then when it happened would like open a door and it lets like flow out again. But then pressures build up and then it kind of closes the door. So then it has to like break through again, or it doesn't. Stabilizes without breaking through again, and that just kind of leaves the structure as it is. But like it seems like it's repetitively doing it right now, at least. Let's get back to that in a second. Okay, then there's also was a Guayaquil Bay region, Gulf of Guayaquil. One near Guayaquil, which I just don't like the ones near there. Honestly, they seem super sketchy, dudes. Super sketchy. Not the place of the earth to want to see any fucking instability. I do not think that any quakes there are in our best interest in the long term. Like, it seems related to the South Atlantic anomaly in ways that are like super sketchy. I don't know. Anyway, so that's part of what's happening, maybe. Also related to the sphere, I came across this through Nick Zentner's channel. Presentation by Trevor something. Trevor Waldine. Presentation where these were they stopped at 58, 54, 52, 50 million. They're going back, but along the boundary, I'm like, dude, they are going. Oh my. This video is super insightful. If the Hawaiian sphere is traveling like this way, and then it gets to the Philippines and hits the Philippines and creates the Apalaki caldera, as I've described, but where this is like part of the process as it's going through here. It's super high explanatory power, in spite of how ridiculous it sounds. That I'm like, dude, I think I had an epiphany. Just seeing these numbers like that, boom. I'm like sphere traveling. I see that sphere traveling, bruh. It is under the crust, about to pop out right about there. Shit, dude. If it's even under the crust, I don't even know. It must be under because it pops out for the Appalachia caldera. Yeah, unless it's like, yeah, it's definitely under. Definitely. But also related to this, there's so many interrelated things. And then I found this. Like, what is that? It looks like a quilt. Like, if I didn't include Google Earth, and it was just like this. Is that even clear that's Earth? It looks like a background pattern, maybe, like an abstract art. It's fucking ice. I was looking at that video on Iceland, and I don't know how the fuck I came across it. I'm like, I'm just looking here. I'm like, okay, this across here. This here is weird. It looks like an indentation where current was maybe drilling in, maybe flowing across this way, and just like getting into here rather than being like an exhaust. Now it's an exhaust, but like as a drill in point, like the shape here, it even has like a chakra shape itself. Oh my god. But then I'm just like, oh, we can actually see this. That's what happened. I was like, oh, we can actually look at this. And then I realized, wait a minute, this isn't just like generic boring ass ice. Like over here, like, okay, this is fucking uninformative. But these clear images, wherever they are, like wherever we see the patch, like, wait a minute. Like this? Like, what the Not, like, and then it's different. Like, here, we go over here. Let's see if we can find some more. Here we can really see it. So it's like, my thought is maybe it's melting, literally. Like, this is melting to a point where some underlying structure is starting to reveal itself. And like over here, it's just not visible, but it's there. In the ice. That's retained though. Fucking retained though. Like, where else do we see this? Where do we see something that looks like bars in multiple directions? I think it's right here. I don't really see multiple crossing stuff very frequently, if at all. But besides like this. But basically, here, here in the ocean, we see interacting crossing shapes. In the oceanic crust, though, not just the ocean, in the crust itself, whereas over here is ice, meaning it's water based, not earth. And yet, it's got these shapes. That pop out that are not even all the same. Like here, so like here it looks kind of like snow just covers it, and we can kind of see something's up. Something weird is up that has like some kind of stripes, but it's not nearly as like obvious as once it like melts more. Maybe this is like more of a summer picture. And then over here, like what the fuck? It's not like this is man doing it. It's not like someone's coming in here with a bunch of freaking jet skis. Or jet skis. Snowmobiles. And like rolling through. Like this is naturally doing it. Insane. And it's not just like it's just melting and doing this shape. No, this is pre-existing in the shape. Like it's there already. It's just melting in the sequence that the energy would like direct it to melt, because the structure is there, so it directs the energy flows of the heat along the structure and the water, etc., and it just melts kind of like it's more erosive, like a softer rock. It just melts like a softer rock kind of thing, where this retains structure around it, but then like it bends over here. It's not even it's like bending, and then it does some crazy thing over here. It's looking a lot like shallograms in ways. Like whoa. And it doesn't end. I haven't even really looked, but the things I found were utterly incredible. Like what? Where is it? Let's find it. So I don't have to find it again, because it was hard to find. So that's just the first image turned. And then this is me measuring. So it's 0.08 miles between these lines. And then like noticeably subtler over here, more obvious over here. But then this place. Pfft. So this is there. Relatively unassuming. Like if we near this stuff, I guess we were pretty close. I don't know if this is the same place we're looking at. Freaking like here, we only see it's across here, but we can see there, right there, right there, right there, there. Like it's definitely doing this over here, but it's got like snow, or more erodible, easily heat transferred to regions that it erodes first. To a point though, when we come over here, where was it? I lost it now. Wow. Like, what the fuck, dudes? Can a geologist tell me that that there's an explanation behind this? Has anyone fucking even seen this in geology? Is this like a known thing that's happening there? Like, what the fuck is happening? How is this not like super... I mean, I see flood current evidence, like, motherfucker. But what I don't see is any scientists looking at the damn stuff at least. Like, what is going on here? Let's click it again. Oh, there it is. Wow. Oh, man. It's doing it even more. Pfft. Incredible. Where, like, even though it has, like, large blocks, say, here, up to here, where, like, it would erode around it, at some point, like, the individual ones within them start to also be eroded according to their, like, subtle differences, where it then creates something more like whatever I was looking at, where I can't quite find it. Wow. Doesn't even make sense for plate tectonics. I guess they say wind. Oh, I guess something. They got some excuse. Some excuse to not acknowledge that the actual depositional flood currents that fucking made this ice are retained in the evidence. It's visible. It's fucking right there. Not where I was just looking at, but where I was previously just looking at. I don't see any more of these grids. I'm just looking for those like squares that pop out as like a place that has higher resolution data. That's super cool. It almost makes me think spreading is like crust melting, stretching, and some mechanic related to the same thing. I don't know. Wow. It's so different. Like, what the fuck? Excuse for that other place. Anyway, I'm super distracted. Okay, let's get back to Kamchakra. Even though I might have caught up. Did I go through that? Okay, thread. Okay, going on 12 hours. This was at 2 o'clock. Since this 6.1, and still no other earthquakes near Kamchatka. There have been since, but there weren't at this point. I was like, damn. Which strongly suggests that this chakra thing at Kamchakra allowed venting of pressures under the crust into the Pacific, and it just didn't have the high pressures to cause earthquakes anymore, and things could it's more like a turbulence maybe, a lot of like high energy interacting from different directions. But once it can flow more freely from the region and just like pass through unabated essentially, then no earthquakes. At least there. Then it goes into a Pacific basin that is not the ocean's basin, but the under basin of the Pacific, that the pressure from Kamchakra flows into the Pacific. Through this like blue area. Here is where the first outlier was, so the 6.1 is somewhere around here. I haven't actually looked at its exact location. We can look at it shortly, but wow. You can really see. Like a wedge. It's like it's a wedging. And then flowing like over here, maybe? Or maybe it's actually wedging. I figured it flowed through this way, so I was looking for earthquakes over here that never happened, because that would be a super anomalous place for one to happen. So if there were to be one over there, it'd be really indicative that there was a relationship. It did not happen. Although there were some along, like, this, or maybe this one. I forget, one of these. I want to say this one, because it was like, one of them was around the Hermes Atoll, or whatever. Another one was over here, like here. Recently. That maybe are related, but... I almost see Callie with the tongue out. Like that. Whoa. This makes me think of Jalandhar, which is related to the Hawaiian sphere in my interpretation. So it would mean, like, if this is, the tongue is India and the head is the Hawaiian sphere, dripping blood into the Pacific basin, held in her hand. Like dripping magma. Third eye, maybe at Kilauea, Mauna Loa. I don't know. Spitballing here. I don't know why I would be dripping into the Pacific basin while also somehow dripping as emissions from the top of the head, if it were to be. But this definitely makes me think of a basin. Bowl basin. Pacific under basin, where like magma and pressures flow. And then she's got a hook with a blade. Hook with a blade that cut the head off, which is crazy. crazy to think about because the hook is super reminiscent of the Maui, Legend of Maui, like Polynesian myths that are related to the formation of Hawaii in my interpretation, where he snares the sun when the sphere goes to the North Pole and then is killed and breaks apart as it goes into the Pacific. And then she's holding his head, which is dripping into the under basin below the crust, feeding it, maybe filling it. I don't know of any Hawaiian hotspot like dripping into under deep into the mantle kind of thing in the evidence. She's also standing on someone. This trident. Like, this totally looks like the arm with the elbow holding Hawaii. And maybe hand holding a bowl that it drips into. Maybe here. It like drips into here. This is, all the earthquakes here are really deep. Like hundreds of kilometers, generally speaking. Maybe not all, but generally speaking. Of course, there haven't been any today. 35, 61, 350, 10, 250, 500, 590, 226, 200, 140, 104, 63, 100, 35, 65, 158, 107, 71, 120. It's like this whole thing is the bowl. 10, 86, 10. But if we go over here, are they like that? 10, 35, 37, 10, 10, 10, 10, 35, 69, 63, 46, 83, so somewhat, yeah. They're definitely not as deep as a lot of the other ones, like over here. This gives me the impression, let's go even further back actually. That way we can see this one was 10. The Australian one was 10. 10. 10. 200. In Afghanistan, 200. 10. 108. 200. That's crazy. Okay, let's check out where this is. 36.5, 78, or 70.8. 70.8, 36.5 on this map. 70.8, 36.5. I think. So like right there. Which is next to this wedge where current flows down here and bends off, goes two directions. Right there, just kind of inside of the ammonite structure here. I like eddies. The smaller one there. in one of its chambers is like a nucleus of a chamber of a larger ammonite eddy. So I guess that quake, or those several quakes that are like in that area, are pretty. Like this is 70.8 right there. The very edge of it is like the where the proton is, like proton or proton neutron neutron proton proton neutron proton proton, like in a fractal way where it's more of an atom fractally than we can fathom without fathoming. But it's quite directly north of it. Suggestive general currents are flowing south towards the mantle puncture hole region, which is what this is, the swirl as I call it. Where ancient Dwarka, as written of in the Mahabharata, was attacked by a vortex weapon. And a fierce vortex arose, blanketing the region with billowing dust and drilling into the earth to a point where it produced a eddy that was a exchange. The vortex exchanged into the earth upwelled material that then ended up actually having like a cork cap it off at the end, but produced the flood, where then again over here it was punctured again as like a secondary mantle puncture hole, as I call it, to allow for exchange in those two locations, especially where then current flowed along the surface of below the crust. And on the crust, really, too. But below the crust. On the surface, I was going to say, I like the mantle. Like, even in the mantle, though, it seems, the more I see about information about the mantle, it doesn't seem to have stopped at just below the crust, but it seems to at least have flowed in this way along, like, presumably, like, the mantle. Like a rind or something still. Just deeper. Kind of this level, the level of the oceanic crust. Kind of depth, maybe. Okay, let's see what else is up. There's been some there. So my thought is, what I'm thinking is, this means flow is entering the Pacific Basin, not limited to here or anything, not limited to the Pacific Plate, but to the Pacific Basin, really limited by crust, continental crust, that is pushing downward, so that it's just harder for these undercurrents to pass through it. So it just preferentially finds weak points. So it goes like generally into the Pacific, like a current does. It doesn't like go anywhere particular. It just follows the path of least resistance. So it vents out this way. And depending on the pressure, it can like follow the fracture zones that go across like this, at wherever exactly. I don't know if that's exactly where they are, but and seemingly do it like continuously with nuance of more than that. But following them and not just arbitrarily and kind of like a margin inside here where it really struggles to get past. And over here it seems like it's possible, but it's like generally flowing from the Pacific, it seems, for like large earthquakes. But so this can flow pretty much down here as well, kind of more like at that angle. It can go this way, kind of thing. It can go this way. It can go along this path. It can go down in here and then go this way, and also back the other way with pressure enough, and go this way, and it can go along this thing, and it can go down and back, and from this back it can go up to like up there with a width. So it can basically fill the Pacific under crust, which we can then kind of bound by some region that has openings, like right there. And probably there. I don't even know if it really reaches like that. It's more, it seems it's more like that in my estimation. Something like that generally, I guess, down even, oops. Like actually to the Antarctica, this freaking thing. But then I guess I'll use a different color finally. But then it can only vent so much. Here, like, this seems to be the region. It doesn't have a wall of resistance of the like continent, even though it's just the relatively newly formed, so it's probably not as resistant to current, to pressures. Like, clearly it's getting through. It's just gonna fill up here until this is higher pressure. Let's get rid of that one. There. And then it's gonna burst at the seams, which is somewhat here. Probably also up this way, which kind of like rotates back in various ways too, like different energies. So like it struggles to go along this way. I think it can also vent through like here a little bit, through this region, and actually vent somewhat, but it struggles to go through here because there's pressure this way. So this region is suboptimal for it to vent. And then the pressure is generally from the north. So this is high, super high, let's call it high plus. And it is just like resistant to any other basin trying to impose its pressures into it, because it is the high pressure basin, at least relative to the Pacific. And any other basin, probably, maybe Antarctica has some equivalent pressure, but it seems to be more so the North Pole. And generally it just contributes to other pressures that are trying to go up there, just being pushed into the Pacific instead. So we definitely could see a major earthquake there. But I think it's really most likely to be here. By major, I mean a like follow-up, because this is just, it's venting. It found a way to vent. It's venting. It's not venting into other pressures as much. It's more so passively venting, which may seem like, oh, things are fine. Things are calming down. Things are calming down. Look at how long it's been. It's been 3.5 hours since anything in the Pacific, and that was over here. I need to take that one off. It just generally is calming down. There's only, how many are there? 22. Let's see the last 7 days. 260. So 7 divided by, or 260 divided by 7 is like 35 per day. 1 day, 22. 30 days, 2.5 plus 2,500. I mean, that's pushing 100 a day. I don't know if over time they like add more so that like previous days just are more inclined to have more. Like, oh, we found another one. Or if it's pretty quick to be added. It's definitely like this one. I said there wasn't one. It says 613. Let's find it. Going on 12 hours is at 217. And then another. Wait, let me go back here. Oh, let's just go through this thread a little bit. Still no other earthquake, strongly suggesting pressure exchange is now well underway and is inflowing into the Pacific with much less interaction into Kamchakra, at least until Pacific builds pressure. So it's kind of like exchanging. So as this builds pressure, so it gets higher pressure from inflows. It just resist more, and it's harder to go through, which can then redirect flows back down this way, because it's basically one or the other. It could probably also go into Asia that way if shit went real haywire, I imagine. It seems like it might also have some exchange over here, but I think it's more so going towards Kamchatka from there. Just in the overall flow of things that are still retained from the global flood. Dudes, I mocked religion. Okay? I mocked it. I mocked it. People are like, hear me say the flood, and they're like, oh, I understand this person. I'm like, no, you fucking don't. God, you don't, though. You don't have a fucking clue. Another one that don't have a clue. Nah, son. I am a scientist. Check yourself. A lot of scientists out there who aren't gonna check themselves. It's too bad. I broke the game, bro. Did you break the game? I broke the game. This is done. Game's broken, dudes. We can't play it this way anymore because I broke it. Just can't. All these accolades. Giving out accolades. What are we even fucking doing then? I broke the fucking game. Okay, so anyway, the 6.1 was the last of 4. So then I was like, wait, let's go back. Maybe we can see some things worth noting. Here's the 6.1, and then nothing after. That was in Kamchakra region. It calls it Kuril Islands here, but Kamchakra. And before that, though, were 3 others that were clusters at 12:48, and there was a bit of a gap, but 3 hours, and then 2 of them. Hey, I don't mean to be a dick to the world and include even you. Oh shit. Yeah, it does seem pretty plausible, right? Like I'm just like, I see a tongue, and next thing I know, like it does fit a little well, a little too well even. I don't really see the trident per se. Although maybe it's actually related to the Atlantic. Her trident? Because the Pacific, I feel like the Pacific is related to Shiva. Like it can't be Kali's trident. It's Shiva's trident. I know, but like I also say it a little too loosely, I guess. Things like that. Sweet. Yeah, it's totally of. She's also got a. Oh shit, she's got a circle around her head in this one. This one just strikes me as like older and more worth comparing to. Like this circle being the general eddy of that was here. And then their tongue here, I guess that's pretty fitting. Shoulders, it's almost like her body is oceanic crust underlaying and not just like a I was thinking, could the Kali Yuga include a phase in which the Earth has Kali on it like that, but where like the next Yuga, it literally transforms and looks I don't know what the next Yuga would look like, but oh, my chat's all messed up. Oh, it's probably because it's not maximum. No, it is. What the fuck? I can't, like, see. Oh, there we go. There we go. I couldn't see, like, the whole text of your word for some reason. It's cutting off some of it. But let's see. Let's check out these clusters. So there was 1 hour, and then 2 pretty much consecutively, and then 3 hours to the 6.1, and 4 in a row were in the 4.5 plus range that were at Kamchakra. When since that one, there hasn't been any at Kamchakra. In this, at that time at least, there hadn't been. Now there have been again. But so then I went back a little further. The previous cluster was from 5:30 p.m. to 7 a.m. So 7:04, 6:21, and then like almost 4 hours. But that's kind of, maybe that's a little too far. But 2:36, 1:34, and then 2.5 hours about to 11:30 to 11:10, 10:30, 10:04, and then a break from 10:04 to 5:30. So another 4.5 hours there. And then before that was a 20-hour gap. This one from this 1725 or 29. The next one back, 1729 on 823. The next one back is 358. So 4. So 13.5 hours or something. I don't know if it was a 20-hour gap. Was it a 20-hour gap? 823. I can't subtract. It was a 13.5 hour gap. And then a bunch of earthquakes. And then a 7-hour gap down here. And then some more there, and then a 7-hour gap. These two were 28 minutes apart, so 7 hours, and then 2 and 28 minutes, and then 7 hours. And then another one, another hour and a half, another hour, and then before that is all the Drake Passage. So since Drake Passage, if we go back through these, 358, 10, so like 4 a.m., 10 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m., 12, 4, 6, 2, 1, 11, 10, 10, and then 5:30, like a lone one at 5:30. So my point is there's like a tendency for them to kind of cluster around midnight Eastern in that like 4 to 10 time frame, or like those hours seem to be more prevalent in this time frame since then. Since the Drake Passage earthquake, and then the 6.1 happened, and my thought is it's kind of like this one is going to really begin the end, maybe, unless like it builds up pressure again. But my thought was it might begin the end of the sequence at Kamchakra. Like it found a way to vent by having a larger earthquake further from like where currents were interacting at Kamchakra. It managed to like break through all the way out there, is what I was thinking. Possibly even related to the 7.5, like it's putting pressure into the region. 7.5 happens, which allows venting through here. Basically, it was blocked somewhat, and venting happened when the 7.5 happened. So now it's letting the pressure out that was building up, which then would mean over here has a capacity to kind of push further. So then 6.1 out further, and that may mean that ultimately it like has opened enough space to just not have these high energy interactions over here, even though the process is still happening, and maybe it'll build up pressure again and still happen, but maybe not, because it's like opened up the passage more so. Let's see what's up now. Fiji. Whoa, look at those. What? Oh my god, it's like a bow. What the frick? 590s, 560, 510, 506, 350, 250, 10, 290, 250, 35. It's like a bow, like pointing towards the core almost. 589. It almost makes me feel like there's gonna be one like somewhere like down, like it's shot, like shooting a bow into the earth kind of thing, right? Like an even deeper one over here that's big, where it like hits. The arrow strikes the targets. It's kind of got an inverse Mariana Trench kind of shape. Super deep though. Like, what the fuck, dudes? Oh, subduction. Plate tectonics. Time, erosion, and coincidence. I know that's not how they explain it, but it might as well be. Well, subduction. Dude, have you looked at the data points? Do you say subduction here? Well, what? It's arcing? But that's not even, like, explanatory of, like, all of them. It's more explanatory of all of them, maybe in this, like, broad sense, but is it totally disregarding the data that's, like, not broad sense? Not simple overlay that they love to do that doesn't actually match the data. It just like generically, maybe that's even a good example of a case where like the generic subduction explains it, but if you look at it, it definitely has like freaking vibratory, what is going on kind of data. Like, it's not as easily explained. Is this? And it's just cheating to act like plate tectonics explains it. That's my point. Plate tectonics does not explain this. Don't act like it does. Dudes. Generic hand waves do not explain this. There are clearly connect the dot dots. Like we are all children again. playing. Some of us who are fortunate enough to have childhoods and not be bombed to fucking smithereens. And then here, like, whoa. This reminds me, oh my god. And this looks like a freaking sharp point. And this kind of makes me feel like it does something almost like joining, I don't know, something more like that. And I guess I kind of ignored this data, but maybe this kind of goes in. This, though, reminds me of shalograms where they have, like, they'll have occasionally the teeth of the ammonite with, like, a circle, or maybe it's here. Like, either inside of one of them or actually even on top of it. I think it's on top of it. Like, specifically, like this. It's hard to find an example, but maybe I can get lucky and it's early and I'm like, oh yeah, that one. Oh yeah, I'm super talking right into this microphone. Oh, where might it be? Maybe this one. This one might have what I'm looking for. No. Like here, but with like maybe just the way there's like these spots. I don't know, that's not the best example. But just since I'm looking at it right there. It's a pretty uncommon feature that requires a like anomalous shape already. The thing's anomalous about the stone to even have that happen, but it happens. Maybe this one. No. Kind of like that, I guess. Like it's branching off it. There's an opening there. It's still not what I'm quite looking for. Like branching off it, doing something there. Maybe also like that, where it's like has up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, but then it turns into like a space for an eddy to eddy. I don't know, but that reminds me of it. That's crazy. Like, what the fuck? Dudes, like, what the fuck? How? They're like, what's the mechanism? Earth didn't expand. What's the mechanism? Meanwhile, subduction. The end. We did it. utterly ridiculous. Sorry guys, not to mock all geologists who might take offense to that. Oh my, what the? This is... like, it's fucking earthquakes around the margin, and then this one goes in? Like, it's eddying inward? Dude. Not far from Istanbul, dudes. I can't even look at this stupidity. Oh my god. Oh my god. Utter absurdity. Uh, oh my god. Oh my lord, dude. Oh my god, dude. His eyes. Like, it's so authentic when it's fucking actually happening. Can't get a fucking kid to fake that this happened. Oh my god. And you can't get some graphic designer, AI, or any bullshit to authentically make the expression on this child's face. Except for literally bombing him. All my posts are anti-Israel at this point. I'm pretty sure I'm on some hate list that is going to concentration camps when phase 3 kicks in, or whatever the fuck they do. Whenever they do global bullshit, I mean, Trump is fucking idiot, dude. What a fucking moron. He's gotta have touched children to be that stupid. A chosen place with a chosen purpose. Oh my god. That's what we're dealing with, fucking morons. Meanwhile, chosen place, peep. It's so dumb. Straight propaganda. Only propaganda can enable this, like, continuing. Okay. Like, is this child alive? I don't know. She looks like her arm is not completely slack. But oh my god, her face is fucking... Oh my god. It's hard to say if she's alive. I don't fucking know. Her face looks literally smashed by debris. Oh my god, dude. It's literally crushed. Her face is crushed. That's what I saw now. Oh my fucking lord. Alright, before I get my account and all my research taken down by fucking tyrants. They're going ham. They don't want people talking about this. They'll take me down real quick. I got no defense. I'm just fucking hoping like the world sees me before these fucking morons take my shit down. Oh my. Okay. Well, I'm glad we had this full spectrum discussion on the world's condition. I think I'm gonna head out now. I'll see you guys when I see you. Good to chat, Gary. Till next time. Sorry, anyone who's on Twitch that are like, where the hell do you go? You got banned there for showing things that he shouldn't show. Bad. Obey. Obey your masters. It looks like the freaking hermetic thing. Angel wings. What was it called? Caduceus or something? Hey, I was right. Caduceus. Hey, thanks. Cool. Oh man, it seems like the Caduceus. That's crazy. Cool. Alright, you too. Thanks for watching. Peace out.